Hi everyone, and welcome back to Art with Mrs. S. Today we're going to be making a shamrock, and we're going to do some drawing, some painting, and then some mixing colors to create some tints and some shades. So I have a few things here to get started. You have this square white piece of paper, a ruler, a sharpened pencil, and I will eventually need paints, but we're going to get started out with just drawing first. So the first thing I like to do, I'm going to write my name kind of small. I'll write Mrs. S and then flip it over. The next step, we're going to draw a large clover or a large shamrock. So it doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to start kind of in the left corner. I'm going to create that stem, and we want it to be kind of fat or thick. So I just have this kind of curvy stem started in one corner, or you could start in the middle. It might just make it harder to do 4 leaves on your clover. You can also do 3, it doesn't have to have 4. And I'm gonna start drawing a big leaf that kind of goes out curvy like a heart. I didn't go all the way back in because I'm gonna add to this. I'm gonna do that 3 more times. So where that last leaf started, I'm gonna go back out, bubble. And sometimes, just so I make sure it's even, I'm going to come back down where the stem was, do that a 3rd time. Notice mine are not even, they're not all the same size, they're definitely not perfect, that's just fine. And I'm going to do that 1 more time. So now I have a clover with 4 leaves. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to add some interest in the background. You could also do this on top of your shamrock, but that makes it very, very hard. So we're actually going to do this, lay it flat. Don't go on top of your clover. I can turn my ruler and go different directions. I can do mine at an angle and create like a triangle. I'm not going to go on top of my clover 4-leaf shamrock right now, and I don't have to go crazy with this. I'm just going to do the couple times to create kind of these different sections in the background of my 4-leaf clover. Turning my ruler, going different directions, making sure it's not moving on me. Now I can kind of see I have this area here that's blocked off, but I didn't take my ruler and go all the way across. I'm going to fix that now, so that I have these individual sections. So there's like 1, 2, I have this huge one right here that I think I'm gonna kind of chomp off a little bit here. And this will make more sense when we go to add our color today. Okay, so I'm about done now. Let me do this a few more times in this big area. If you get a little on your shamrock, just erase. It's not gonna be the end of the world. If you like your design more even instead of abstract, you could do more squares or more triangles in the background too. I kind of did just a random design. So it looks kind of like this crazy background, and then I have this shamrock on top. Now I'm ready to paint. I got my paint mat. It's just a scrap piece of construction paper. That's going to catch a lot of the paint when I get close to the edge, and it's going to keep my workspace nice and clean. Now I'm ready for my paint. I'm just going to start today with a paintbrush on this paper plate and just the simple color green. You'll see here too that I've started to work on other colors, but I'm just going to do green today. And I think I'm just going to add that to this large shamrock to get started. The shamrock's going to take me the longest to paint because it's this huge space, and this might all we get done in part 1 today. Notice when you're painting, it's not like when you're coloring. You got to take your time. You might have to change the direction of your brush. I gave you small brushes here, so you can get into those little details. When you're going along an edge, drag it along that edge nice and smooth. And then of course, smooth out any of those globs of paint so that you have a nice even layer. This is going to take me a long time to do, so be patient with yourself. Take it slow. Dip your brush often because you're going to need a lot of paint to fill this in. Don't worry too much about the background. I want you to take your time on this part, and we'll start working in some of those tints, adding white to a color. And we'll also add in some shades of green by adding some black to the paint to darken it. Go around. If you get out of lines a little, don't worry. That's why we're doing the shamrock first, so that when we go in and add those other colors, we can kind of cover up or clean up some of those little mistakes. It's gonna happen, especially if you've ever painted before, you know that every once in a while, you're gonna get out of the lines and you can't erase it right away, or you can't fix it right away. You have to wait until it dries to fix a lot of the mistakes that you make with paint, especially with this darker color. I can't paint right over top of it right now until it dries. It's just gonna keep sliding around. It's gonna keep mixing with my other colors. So I'm gonna leave it for now. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'll fix it later. I'm about halfway done with my shamrock. If it helps you to turn your art, but keep it on that paint mat, absolutely, just give it a little turn. And you can finish up the other parts of your clover or your shamrock. Notice with this too, it's a lighter color on top of light paper, so you're gonna see some of your brush strokes. So I'm trying to keep my brush going all the same direction, or keeping them all smooth instead of choppy like that. I'm making it nice and smooth, really globbing that paint on, going with the direction of those shamrock leaves or petals. Making it a nice, smooth, dark green clover. Notice I got a little there too. I'm just gonna leave it. When I go to fix that next time I paint, I'll probably make it a darker green and cover it right up. It's not gonna show up. If it really bothers you, you can take a little bit of paper towel and clean it up. I'm almost done. I have just one more petal to finish up. Kind of clean up those edges while I got this green. Turn my paper one more time so I'm not laying my arm or my sleeves in it. And so I can work quickly and smoothly. Sometimes you need to go back and add a second coat somewhere else, like where those little white spots poke through. And finish up my art. Almost done. Just have this little curve left. And think about how much time it took me to get all 4 of these done. Really take your time. If you don't finish this time around, I'll give you some time next time before we add those extras to make sure you get just this solid green on your art. And there we go. When you're all done with that, we're actually going to take these to the drying rack. Keep it on that paint mat. That's going to help you carry it. And then it also stays on the drying rack a lot better. And then we'll finish these up next time. Thanks for joining me today. I can't wait to see all of your lucky 4-leaf clovers. Have a great day.